Record. There we go. Okay, you guys have any aches or pains from what I can imagine is a bit of a sofa lifestyle at the moment?
I got my COVID vaccine yesterday, so I've just got aches and pains everywhere now.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, yeah, we're going to do 90 minutes of hips. Hang on, I will press record so I don't have to repeat this twice. So I'm going to mute you both. Mute. Mute. Katie, have you froze? Why won't it mute you? Okay, there we go. Recording pause. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do 90 minutes of hips. So we'll do strength and flexibility, so that I feel that if you do strength first, then you get a bit further with your flexibility. So that's kind of my thought process behind it. But I've got 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have a block, maybe like some really thick books, if you have some Lonely Planet books lying around. And then if you have maybe like a blanket or just something to throw over you for the Shavasana, just so that it's a little bit more comfortable, and you can really get a little deeper into the relaxation. So let's start off on our mats, lying down on your back. Nice, and just have your feet lifted up so you can really just wiggle over your hips and kind of feel like you're shuffling your hips down a little bit, just to create a little bit more length through your lower back. And then wiggle the shoulders down as they creep up to the ears. And then place your feet down onto the mat. And just have one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach. Closing your eyes and just taking a few deep breaths. And really feeling into that expansion and contraction of your breath, just bringing you into the present moment, bringing you into your body. Noticing any parts of the body that are already starting to speak to you as you find that little bit of stillness. Find a little bit more mindfulness. And maybe start thinking about an intention or an affirmation, a sankalpa of I am present, or I will be present in my practice. I will listen to my body, or whatever it is that maybe you need to remind yourself of a few times during your practice. Start thinking and repeating that in your mind now. And really breathing in whatever way you find the most relaxing, and in a way where you feel you can actually take a deeper breath. So if that's nose or mouth, or switching between the two. So you're going to start to stretch the legs out. Reach your arms behind your head. Take a full body stretch. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. And you can leave your arms behind your head, or you can take them out to your sides. Bend back into your legs and wiggle your feet out so they're about mat width distance apart. As you inhale, a little tightness through the core. Exhale, knees go over to the right, look to your left. Inhale, knees up through center. Exhale, knees go left, look right. Inhale, knees up through center. Exhale, knees go right, look left. Inhaling, knees up through center. Exhale, knees go left, look right. Inhale, bring the legs back up to center. And as you exhale, bring the knees up in towards your chest. Start to rock from left to right, focusing more on how your lower back feels rather than getting towards a spinal twist. Let the legs be heavy first of all, so that the knees really feel like they are fallen as much as they can towards your stomach, towards your chest. And then from these little circles over your lower back, from the sways from left to right, start to go into little circles and see if you can feel some of that tension that sits right at the top of your glutes. And then once you've zoned into that sensation, think about you're relaxing and trying to push some of the lactic acid out of your glutes. As the circle and your knees come closer to your chest, you're going to engage your core. So exhaling on whichever part you feel more in your body, or maybe it feels a little bit strenuous, especially if you've got a really tight bum. And then go round in the opposite direction. And then from here, we'll finish one more circle. Come back to center. And then you're going to do hip opening circles. So legs together, knees into your chest, bum can lift a little bit. Legs push away from each other, making this circle shape, and then coming back together. And you notice if you take it nice and slowly, you can squeeze your bum as your legs open, and that will give you a little bit more of a hip opening. And then you're going to feel your adductors, your inner thighs, having that tiny bit of conditioning as the legs come back together. And as you open the legs, the further you open them and then take the knees over the hips towards the front of your mat, the more of this inner thigh adductor conditioning sensation you're going to feel. And you just want to bring a little bit of awareness into your lower back as well. It's okay if it lifts a little bit, but if you're feeling like you've really got this arch come through your lower back, you want to just engage your core a little bit more and feeling like you're pulling your belly button through down towards the mat. Now, so let's go round in the opposite direction. And again, you can still squeeze your bum as you open your legs at the widest point. And notice that little sensation coming through the little pocket of muscles around your hips. And you can play with flexing and pointing your feet as you do this. And maybe that adds a little bit extra into the movement for you. So do one more circle round. Bring the knees back in over your chest and then point your toes up to the ceiling. Trying to stack your ankles over your hips. So again, you feel that little bit of core activation. Start to point and flex through the ankles and spread your toes out and then crunch them in. You're just giving a little bit of joint love, little bit of a hamstring calf stretch. Little bit of tightness through the core, keeping it active. And then rotate your ankles around in circles one way. And nice and dramatic, so you can really feel it in the back and the fronts of your ankles. Nice, let's take these circles around in the opposite direction. And then from here, making sure that you have space either side of you for your legs to go out. Just going to wiggle a little bit. I'm going to do a little tick-tock. So with the legs together, you're going to let the right leg go over to the right. The left leg tries to stay still. Once you get it down so you're in a 3 o'clock position, let that left leg go over and on top of the right. Arms out in line with your shoulders, looking to your left. Inhale, lift the left leg up, keep the right leg where it is. Take the left leg all the way over to the left, and the right leg will naturally start to lift where it needs to, and then it can go all the way over to the left. Nice, right leg up, over, left leg lifts. We fan over to the right, and fanning over to the left. As you start to feel that spinal twist movement, and you can move quickly or slowly, really. Depends on how your back and how your hips are feeling. Again, a little bit of engagement through the core so that you're activating those muscles in the lower back. Maybe creating a little bit more space through this twist. Nice. And then we're going to stop over on the left side. So adding into this kind of spinal twist stretch, we're going to add a swing. So the right leg is on top, both legs are on the left. You're going to swing this right leg back as far as you can, stretching through the top of the leg. Bring it back on top of the left, and then fan it over to the right. Left leg swings back, and then swings forward, back on top of the leg. Swing it over, and fan legs over to the left. Right leg takes a swing back, swing forwards, fan it over. Left leg take a swing back, swing forwards, fan it over. And again, that bum squeeze will help you a little bit. Swing it back, swing it forwards, fan it over. Swing it back, swing it forwards, fan it over. Swing back, swing forwards, fan over, and swing it back, swing it forwards. And on the right side, we're going to bend both legs, lift them back up to center, and come back into center onto our mat. From here, feet onto the floor. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together, come into reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. If you have any sort of shooting sensation, any sharp pain coming from the knee to the hip, grab a block or a cushion and just wedge it under the outer edge of your thighs or under your knees, and just give your legs that tiny bit of support. And you find then if you can press your toes together, find your little toes to line up. Press the little toes in towards each other. Squeeze your bum, lift your bum up just a little bit, and then let it come back down onto the mat. And then you can play with squeezing the glutes and relaxing the glutes, and you're going to feel these sensations come through into your hip flexors, or these pockets of muscles in your hips. And if, like me, you have some knee damage, you'll feel it in your damaged knee as well. So you can always move your feet further away from your hips, you can bring them closer in, and you just find that sweet spot where you're not going to agitate any old injuries. But you start to bring some passive stretching through the adductors, through the inner thighs. And just giving them a moment with some deep breaths, taking oxygen to these muscles, taking little bum pulses if you enjoy that sensation. And if it's quite strong, to squeeze both glutes at the same time. Alternate, squeeze one and then the other. And that can feel a lot less intense by just focusing on one side at a time. So we're going to stay here for about another minute. So close your eyes. Really go within, notice what's happening. And see if you can share your awareness between the sensation of breath in your upper body and the sensation of maybe a stretch, but also a little bit of resistance around the hips. Stay for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Using your hands if you've got injuries, not using your hands if you feel fine. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze your feet together. Bring the knees back up. If you used any blocks, just move them out to your side so they're not in your way. From here, lift the legs up, come into a happy baby. Take your hands to your feet. Have a little roll around. Notice how the lower back feels, how your hip flexors feel. And then start to bend and straighten one leg at a time so you get these nice little hamstring stretches come through. And again, play with pointing and flexing through your feet, and you'll notice how you can stretch out different parts of the backs of your legs depending on how you position your feet. See if you can do a long hold with your right leg straightened out. Really, either really pointing or really flexing. And obviously if you have pain, then just finding a variation that feels good. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Right leg bends, left leg straightens out. Deep breaths. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both legs in. See how far you can straighten both legs out. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both legs back in. Release your hands from your feet. Bring your knees together. Have a little gentle rock from left to right. Or let your legs straighten out for a moment. Now it's time for a little rock and roll squat and reach. So you can use your hands if you find the squat difficult. What you want to do is really sweep the feet under your bum as you rock forwards to get you up into that squat. So let's rock backwards and forwards a little bit first of all. Build up some momentum. Check that your back is going to be okay with the movement. Then start to extend your legs, toes behind your head. Rock forwards, feet under your bum. We'll go again. Feet behind your head and squat and reach. Feet behind your head, squat and reach, lifting the bum a little bit, and we'll keep going for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Staying up in your squat. Make sure that your feet are comfortable. You've got a good little malasana. Just rotate through the wrist, spread your fingers out nice and wide, little spirit finger jazz hand style. Rotate round in the opposite direction. And then we're going to do little froggy jumps to the back of the mat. So, really rounding your back like an angry cat. Hands go down, feet can be as wide apart as you need them to be. Shift your weight forwards into your hands and really clamp your legs onto the outer edge of your arms. Shifting forwards like you're really lazily going into a crow, so you can lift the feet up and just push yourself back on your mat just a little bit. So a little push back, push back, push back, push back. Once you get to the back of your mat, a little bit more difficult, reach your arms a bit further forwards as you do it. Clamp around the top of your shoulders and little jumps, jumpy hops forwards. So you should feel a little bit warmer through the upper body, and then gently place your bum down and legs open. Grab those 2 blocks again, or something of a height of a block, and your legs just have to be open. They don't have to be as open as far as you can open them. Place your 2 blocks in between the space of your legs, level 1 on height. Either use your hands to your side to keep your torso up, or if you feel like you have the strength in your lower back, bring your hands onto your core so you can feel the engagement. Point your toes like a ballerina. Lift your kneecaps so you can see your quads activate. Right leg first. Over one block, over two blocks, and back. Left leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Last one. Right leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice. Now from here, hands on both blocks on that lower level. Bring them so that they're facing the same direction as your right leg. Round your back a little bit as you lean forwards in a bit of a humpback. Press down onto the block. Lift your bum up. Lift your right foot up and down. Left foot up and down. Bum down. Have a little bit of a shake. If you start getting little cramps, just bring your legs in a little bit closer. Switch over to the left leg. Round forwards. Bum up. Left foot up. Right foot up. Sit down. Change sides. Bum up. Right foot up. Left foot up. Bum down. Change sides. Bum up. Left foot up. Right foot up. Come down. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. So now, the legs are obviously really, really heavy. So if both feet aren't an option, that's fine. We'll just work with the right leg. You're going to come up, lift that right leg up. See if you can lift the left leg up as well, and then come down. If you can't do the left leg, just do the right. And if you want to just have a little punch on some of the muscles that spaz out, that's normal. Left side. Bum up, left foot up, right foot up, and down. Try again, right side. Bum up, feet up, and down. Left side. Bum up, feet up, and down. Nice from here. Legs together. Have your blocks either side of your hips, hips over your shoulders. You're going to do this kind of rounding forwards with the shoulders, rounding the upper back. Lift your bum up, right foot up, down. Left foot, down. Right foot, down. Left foot, down. Right foot, down. Left foot, down, bum down. Nice. Rotate through the wrists. Nice. Okay, from here, little bit trickier. You're going to come into butterfly legs, and then it doesn't actually, maybe more diamond legs is a more appropriate. It doesn't have to be super close, heels towards your hips. Lean over, like you're creating this nice little cage, and actually take your blocks with you so that you have something to press down into. Really rounding the back and sucking the core in, with shoulders coming up to your ears. All of your focus, press into the blocks. Lift your right foot up and down. Lift the left foot up and down. Lift the right foot up and down. Lift the left foot up and down. Nice. From here, take a nice deep breath in, find length through your spine. Exhale, crawl your fingers forwards. You can rest your forearms on the block and let your head bow down. Again, start to squeeze your glutes. Notice when you squeeze your glutes, your knees open up just a little bit more. Keep them squeezed, keep them active. Belly in so you have space to fold, and stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Inhale, start to walk yourself back up. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Nice. From here, move your blocks over to one side. Let's do a couple of vinyasas to reset the body. So from here, come into a tabletop position, facing to the front of your mat, toes tucked. Lift the knees up, push back into your down dog. Take a nice little wiggle, stretch out, move your feet around, move your hips around, and just start to warm up through your down dog. We'll stay here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into a neutral down dog. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees. Inhale, jump or step, flat back, front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, rise all the way up, fingers to ceiling, lengthen. Exhale, hands by your sides. Again, inhale, fingers to ceiling, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Exhale, jump or step back, high plank, and Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, up dog, shoulders back, strong arms. Exhale, down dog. Nice, staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, looking to the front of our mat, we're going to jump to Malasana. So bend the knees, jump the feet wide, bring your bum down, and come into your little yogi squat. Nice, from here, look over your right shoulder. Take a little walk around in a circle to your right. Try to keep your chest lifted, try not to go too much into a rounded back. Nice, then look over your left shoulder. And walk around in a circle to your left. Nice. From here, you're going to lift your bum up just a little bit. Really reach your arms forward. You feel that compression come through your hips. Squeeze your bum. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently come, sit your bum down on the mat, grab your feet, come into little happy baby. Nice. From here, let your hands go over your feet, bring your feet onto the floor, and you're going to let your left leg go down straight, right leg pulls into your chest, and if you're close to a wall, wiggle further towards the wall so that your left foot is pressed against the wall. If you're not close to the wall, don't worry, just stay exactly where you are, it's fine. Nice, so in this right leg, I want you to feel where you're pulling the right leg in. Soft compression, so skin on skin, no feelings of bone pressing on bone in this position. If you do, just release and take it out to the side a little bit more. Flex through your foot. Flex through that left foot as well. Feel that little stretch on the top of the left leg. Shoulders relax. We stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the right leg about halfway. Take it out to the side, to the inside of your right elbow, towards your armpit. Again, feeling soft compression, no bone on bone. Stay here for 5, 4, 3. Keep directing that right knee towards the right shoulder. Squeeze the right glute. See how that feels. For 3, 2, 1. Relax through the right side. Lift the right leg up to a half happy baby. Sole of the foot towards the ceiling, knee towards the floor. Left hand on the top of the left leg. Nice, and again, really directing the knee down towards the floor, towards the outer edge of your shoulder. And what we'll do is we'll straighten up and down. So we'll lift the leg up and then bring it back down to happy baby for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, with the hand in that traditional position, we're going to bring the forearm to the inside of the calf, grab hold of the heel of that right foot. Left hand goes back on top of the left leg, and then you're going to straighten that right leg, flex the foot, see if the toes go down towards the floor, and then bend back into your half happy baby. So extend for 5, and make sound effects. I don't know if it helps, but it definitely helps me. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, nice. Relax that right leg for a moment. Just let it have a little swing from left to right. And you can even take it all the way over to a spinal twist and then just bring it back. And we'll just go for maybe 5 more deep breaths. Okay, so bringing this right leg back into your half happy baby. Take that hand to the foot. Feel the pressure that you apply with your hand, pulling the knee down. Squeeze the glute. Feel the activation run through that right leg. Flex that left foot. If you have any injuries in the left leg, put a block under your thigh. And then you're going to release your hand from your right foot and keep pressing the knee down to the floor. So keeping that activation without any pulling. Bring your hands together. Make little gun hands like you have a laser pointer through your index finger. Chin to chest, roll up, point your fingers towards that left toe. You feel it in the right hip, you feel it in your core. You're going to pulse like you're playing laser tag or something and start to point these fingers towards that left toe while activating that right leg and pulling the knee down to the floor. We'll keep going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax through that right leg. Just let the foot lie on the floor for a moment. Straighten out through both legs. Take a little mini shavasana. Wiggle whatever you need to wiggle. And you should feel the difference between all of that activation and heat that's built up through the right side. A little bit calmer sensation on the left side. So let's switch places. Left leg comes up, knee to chest, soft compression. So only really feeling skin pressing against skin, no bone pressing against bone. And it doesn't have to be that your knee is coming straight, almost kind of in line with your breast. Depending on how your bones are shaped will depend on if that's possible or not. So nice deep breath here. Awareness of your core. Awareness of any activation that isn't needed through your shoulders or through your jaw. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release out halfway. Take out to the side completely, to the inside of that left elbow. Feeling a little bit more of that compression through the muscle on the side of the glute here. Nice deep breaths. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release again. Lift the foot up. Come into your half happy baby. Nice. So right hand on the top of the right leg. Deep breaths into that left leg. Stay here for a moment. And as you're ready, we're going to flex through this left foot. We're going to straighten and then bend back into the half happy baby. Straighten and bend. straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and straighten and bend. Stay here. Change that left hand to come on the inside of the leg onto the heel of the foot. And then from here, you're going to extend. See how low you can get the toes to the floor. Bend back to a half happy baby. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. I've totally lost count. Let's do 2 more. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Nice. Now from here, releasing that half happy baby, you can bring the leg up. We can take a few of these spinal twist swings where we're just going to loosen up, release some of the tension and compression that we've just put through the hips. Take one more, and then we'll come back into half happy baby on that left side. So grabbing the foot from the outside edge of the foot once more, flexing the foot as much as you can, knee down towards the outer edge of that left shoulder. Find that activation within the leg without pulling of the arm. Slowly release the hand from your foot. Make your little gun hands, chin to chest, tightening that core, pointing over towards your right big toe, and start to pulse. Keep pressing the knee down. Keep finding that core activation. We'll go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your foot rest down. If you want to wiggle from left to right, you can. If you're going to take a little mini Shavasana, then you can. And trying to breathe into the belly just a little bit. Maybe see if you can connect with the movement of the diaphragm. So as you inhale, the belly lifts, the organs push up, making space for the diaphragm to expand. And as you exhale, the belly goes down, the ribs come closer together, and the diaphragm moves up into your chest. Nice. Now from here, we're going to bend into the legs, come into a little bit of a bridge position. And I'm going to change sides on the mat because we're going to do right side first. And make sure you have a lot of sweeping room to the right of you right now. So your feet are bent. You can touch the back of your ankles with your fingertips. And you're going to actually have your arms out to the side for a little bit of support. You're going to inhale, gently squeeze your bum, press into your toes, lift your hips up. Looking for a little bit of a stretch sensation on the tops of the thighs. Exhale, bring the hips back down. Inhale, right leg goes up, point to the ceiling. Let's lift the hips using the strength of that left leg. Bring it down. Now this right leg is going to go out, a bit like that TikTok thing we did at the start. Out to your right, swooping round. Toes point to the ceiling, lift up again. Come down, bend that foot into a figure of 4. Nice. Now press the outside edge of your ankle into that left thigh. Squeeze your bum a little bit. Feel that right knee open, inner hip, inner thigh stretch. Release. Bring your knee to your chest. Straighten your leg. And again, swing that leg around to the right. Bring it back into bridge. Other side. Lift the hips up and down. Left leg straightens, we lift it up and down. Left leg goes around to the left, swoop it round, point the toes back to the ceiling, lift the hips up and down. Nice. From here, figure of four. Press the outside edge of the ankle into the right thigh, squeeze the left glute, left knee moves back. Release, knee to chest, straighten the leg, left leg swings around in that semicircle, back to bridge. Hips up, hips down, right leg up, bum down, right leg semicircles around, toes to the ceiling, lift up and down, figure of four. Activate your adductors, press the ankle into the thigh, release, knee to chest, extend, swing it round, back to bridge. Hips up, hips down, left leg up, hips up and down. Left leg semicircles around, toes to the ceiling, hips up and figure of four. Activate, release, knee to chest, leg extends and semicircle around, back to bridge. Hips up, hips down, right leg up, hips up and down. Right leg semicircles around, toes to the ceiling, hips up and down, figure of four. Activate and release, knee to chest, leg extends, swing it around, come back to bridge. Hips up, hips down, left toes to the ceiling, hips up, hips down, left leg semicircles around, toes to the ceiling, hips up and hips down, figure of four. Activate and relax. Left knee to chest, left leg extends, swing it around, come back to bridge. Nice. From here, grabbing that block, lifting the hips up through bridge and placing that block under the base of your spine. Wiggle so you find a nice spot. Wiggle the feet together and again start to open up the legs, come into this reclined butterfly. And a little bit deeper this time because we've lifted up through the base of the spine. So then again we can play with squeezing the glutes and noticing how that feels. Again, if you have any shooting pains coming through, put something under that leg, offer it a little bit of support. We'll stay here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the glutes, help the knees lift up, come back together. Separate the feet out, keep the block where it is. Have a little sway from left to right over your lower back. So maybe a couple of deep sighs out. From here we can come back to center. Take the hands to the block, lift the hips up, move the block over to one side, come down onto your back and just let your spine neutralize for a couple of breaths. And as you do that, nice deep breaths, you can just rotate your wrists, ready for a few more vinyasas. Nice, so from here, knees can come back up into the chest. We're going to rock and roll forwards a few times, build up your momentum. Start to take the toes behind your head And squat and reach. We'll go again for 4. For 3. For 2. And 1. Come into your squat. Hands down. Hips up. Come into a forward fold. And sway your hips from left to right. Maybe feeling some of the work we've done on the hips in this fold a bit deeper. Come back to center, soft through the knees. Inhale, rounding up through your spine. And shoulders down and back when you get there. Oh. Nice from here. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, tuck your head. Inhale, flat back, long spine. And exhale, step back into your high plank. And from your high plank, we're going to push straight back into our down dog. Nice. So just have a little wiggle around in your down dog. Play with your hip tilt, just like you do in a cat-cow. Feel like you're rounding your back. And then feel like you're coming into that happy cow position. And what does that do for some of that soft compression in your hips and flexibility through the back of the legs? Stay having a little wiggle around. We'll stay for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soft through the knees. Walk your hands to your feet at the back of your mat. And again, inhale, slowly round up through your spine. And roll your shoulders down and back. From here, grab a block. And if you don't have a block, grab a heavy book. And then, if you know that you do not have great balance, or you've just drank too much coffee and you haven't eaten enough today, maybe grab something that you can have close by as a little support. With your block, what you're going to do is lift your right leg up. I'm going to do this at an angle so you can see. There we go. Oh, lift your right leg up and balance your block on your thigh. Now my block's cork, so it's pretty heavy, so it can stay there quite easily. If yours is foam, it's going to be a little bit more wobbly. Now, so you can have a soft bend through your standing leg if that helps you to feel more balance. Find those 4 corners of your foot on that left foot. Flex through your right foot. Start to tighten your core. Feel the ribs close in. Feel your belly go in a little bit more. Feeling some shaking through the right leg already. Either hands on your body or out to the side to help you balance. Right leg. Extend. Ooh. Bend. Extend, bend, shaking is good, extend, bend, 2 more, extend, bend, extend, bend. Take that block, release, have a little shake. So, other side, left leg, find the block, check 4 corners of your right foot, toes can grip the floor. Find that stability in your standing leg. Flex through the left foot, engage the core. And extend, bend. Squeeze that glute. Extend, bend. Extend, bend. Extend, bend. 1 more. Extend, bend. Release. Have a little shake. Nice. Okay, back onto the right leg. Block is in, and this time, what we're going to do is take the leg out to the side. So check that you can move your block forwards and to the side without it falling. Take it out to the side. Extend to the side. Bring it back. Bring it forwards. 4 more times. To the side. Extend. Bend, forwards, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, one more, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, release. Have a little shake. Okay, left leg, same thing. Find balance in your standing leg and in the block. Have a little movement test. Check you've got it, readjust if you haven't. And then we'll go 5 times. To the left, extend, bend, forwards. To the left, extend, bend, forwards. To the left, extend, bend, forwards. 2 more. To the left, extend, bend, forwards. To the left, extend, bend, forwards, and release. Have a little shake. Oh, nice. Okay, so now it's going to be fun. We're going to incorporate both of them together. So, on the right leg, have a little movement test. Okay, so 5 times. Extend forwards, bend, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, extend, bend, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, extend, bend, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, extend, bend, to the side, extend, bend, forwards. Last one. Extend, bend, to the side, extend, bend, forwards, release. Maybe do a little figure of 8. Nice. Let's get ready for the left side. So, find your placement, little movement test. Okay, 5 times. Find your breath, find that core engagement. Find your balance. Extend, bend, to the side. Extend, bend, forwards. 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 Extend, bend, to the side. Extend, bend, forwards, and release. Nice, you can put that block down. And almost take like a standing camel so you can support that lower back. Roll your shoulders back and push the hips forward so you get that really nice stretch in those little pockets of hip muscles. Nice. Come up. Have a little wiggle. And then the next thing that we're going to do, I'm not even going to pretend it is difficult. So you want 2 blocks. I'm just going to move this screen a little bit. 2 blocks, and we're going to come into a triangle, maybe more of a pyramid shape. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Now your back leg, if you want to wiggle it out to the side a bit, warrior 1, you can. If you want to have it in more of the lunge position, then you can. I don't mind. You can go high on the blocks, especially if you have really short arms. I'm going to go medium so that the blocks are a little bit sturdier and I have a little bit more area to place my hands for support. Now what we're going to do is hip plugging. So if you stand up for a second and you have your hands on your hips and these hip bones are kind of like your flashlights, if you lean onto your left side, you can lift that right hip up and you can place it down. If you lean on your right side, you can lift that left hip up and down, yeah? So you can plug your hips to effectively make one leg shorter than the other, or that's what it feels like. So that's what we're going to do in this pyramid pose. So with this front leg, flex through this foot. This is a common hamstring stretch. So you're flexing through that right foot. You've got a good position onto your blocks. You're rounding your back like an angry cat, and you are engaging your core as if your life depends on it. Now from here, start to plug that right hip and lift the heel off of the floor and place it down. Lift it up and 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 down. Nice, bend that knee to come up. Release. So if that's the first time ever doing that and it feels like I've just rocked your world and not in a good way, that is normal. I felt the same when I learned that stretch. So same on the left side. Come into your little triangle pyramid posture, squaring off the hips as best you can to start with. Core engagement, little rounding through the back, puffing up so you can really squeeze this core in. Flex through the left foot, really pressing into those blocks. Plug that left hip up, and down, up and down, up and down. Two more, up and down, and up and down. Bend that left knee, come forwards, shake it out. Okay, so can't really see me. What we're going to do is we're going to use this in a bit of a lizard lunge vinyasa. So with your hands on the blocks and peace fingers on the blocks, other fingers gripping round so you have good wrist support on your blocks, start to wiggle yourself forwards and come into your down dog. Nice, and your shoulders can come up to your ears, that's normal. Just make sure they're not rolling in. You kind of want to keep the upper back broad, but the traps can rise up, that's fine. From here, right leg goes up, three-legged dog. Plugging that hip, don't let the foot touch the floor. Sweep it through to the outside edge of your right block. Tap your big toe to that block. Back to a three-legged dog. 4 more times. Forwards, tap, and back. Again, forwards, tap, and back. 2 more. Forwards, tap, and back. And forwards, tap, and back. Right leg comes down. Left leg goes up, three-legged dog. And you can even tap this narrow bit if that's a little bit easier for you. So plug that hip, bring it forwards, foot doesn't touch the floor, tap, and back. And tap, and back. And tap, and back. And tap, and back. 1 more, tap, and back, and down. Nice, bend the knees nice and wide. Move the blocks out of your way. Come down into a child's pose. Take a little rest. Let yourself get comfortable. And if you feel like your hips are still a little bit too activated, maybe you can always lift the wrists, press your fingertips down, and take that little gentle push to press the hips down a little bit more. Nice, and while we're here, we'll bring in a nice little stretch for the hip flexors. So making sure, maybe you need to wiggle to the back of your mat in your child's pose. Move anything out of your way. And what we're going to do is really reach the arms forwards as much as we can. We're going to inhale, round through the spine, angry cat. Lift the hips up. Keep the toes together. Shift the shoulders forwards over the wrists. Start to bring the hips down. Toes still together. Bend the elbows out a little wide. Crown of the head towards your toes. And then push up and back into your child's pose. So do this 4 more times. Rounding forwards, dropping down into this kind of up dog butterfly variation, and then pushing up and back to child's pose. Inhale, rounding forwards. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, rounding forwards. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, rounding forwards. Exhale, pushing back. And inhale, rounding forwards. Exhale, pushing back. Sit your bum down onto your feet, walk your hands back so that you're in a seated position. So we're going to ramp this up just a little bit more. And I'm going to move my mat forward so that it's a bit easier to see. So all of that leg room that you needed in those TikTok swingy things that we were doing earlier, you're going to need again. So you're going to use the blocks in front of the mat. We'll do a bit of a block vinyasa. So I'll show you first. What we're going to do is from the down dog, let me see very well, smash things. Okay, so from your block down dog, bringing the leg up, we're going to flex that foot, bring it around to the right, keep it rotated in, tap to the side of the block, bring it back. 5 times on each side. So if you're not set up already, come into this position and let's do right side first. Right leg goes up, goes around to the right, thigh rotates inwards, feel that core compression, tap, and take it back. Again for 4, tap, and back. For 3, tap, and back. For 2, tap, and back. And for 1, tap, back, and down. Nice, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, left leg goes up, and take it around. Left side will be harder, tap, and back. Tap, and back. Tap, and back. 3 more. Tap, back. Tap, back. And tap, back. And down. Nice, bend your knees. Come to sit down onto your feet. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times. Wiggle your neck. Nice. Okay, from here, let's come into a little pigeon pose. So, again, move the blocks to your side. If you need them for the hips, that's fine. In your tabletop, right leg is going to come forwards, finding that pigeon posture, and shimmy that left leg back. Now, before you go down to be passive, if you are comfortable, you want to lift the chest as much as you can. Shoulders don't need to be over the hips, that's quite extreme, but thinking along those lines will back you up into where I would like you to be. it is quite nice to have the blocks just as a little bit more of a tool to support you through this. So what we're going to do is the right knee at the front and the left hip bone. As you inhale, imagine squeezing them together, you get a bit of a lift. Relaxing them, you come down. Squeeze them together. Relax them down. Put your hand on the outer edge of your thigh if you can't feel it. Squeeze. You should feel the hamstring activate. And down. 3 more. Squeeze. And down. Squeeze. And down. And squeeze. And down. Nice. Now you can start to walk your hands forward to get a little bit more passive. Either kind of use your hands to make a pillow for your head. Keep your head up, however you feel comfortable. Coming into this pigeon. Now a few things. Ideally you would want square hips, or as square as you can get them. If you're dropping down onto that right hip, then wedge a block or a cushion underneath it. If your left leg is really drastically turning in and you're dropping over onto that left side, tuck your left toes under, be on your forearms, and again, so you're going to lift that left knee up and think about squeezing the right knee to the left hip so that you can bring that balance in so that the left leg feels like it's a bit straighter and it's not just round, kind of inwardly rotating and dropping you over onto that left hip. So you can stay like this and keep the activation throughout the whole posture, or you could pulse it, or just use it every now and again to try and build that neuromuscular connection. Whatever you're doing in your pigeon pose, come back to your breath. Find that expansion through the back of the rib cage. And we'll stay here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you've got anything wedged under the right glute to support you, move that over to the side now. Start to push up through your upper body. Come to lean over onto that right glute. And then with this left leg, engage your core. You're going to bring it around forwards. And then take it back to pigeon. See if you can do no hands. Forwards, kick, back, pigeon. Forwards, kick, back, pigeon. Forwards, kick, back, pigeon. My hand movements are absolutely not necessary. Kick, back, pigeon. Nice. From this time, bring that left leg forwards. We're going to switch sides. Lift the right leg up. Left leg goes into pigeon. Ooh, right leg goes back. Nice. Start to have a little readjustment. Nice, and your shin absolutely does not need to come across parallel to the front of your mat. I know that is in every single picture of someone doing pigeon, but unless you're extremely hyperflexible or you want to stretch out your ligaments and never get them back, I'll just leave that one if I were you. So using your blocks or not using your blocks depends on which you prefer. Left knee to right hip. Squeeze it. Oof. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze. release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Start to walk your hands forwards. Just finding where you want to find your rest. Again, if you need to wedge something under the left glute, or you need to tuck the right toes under, lifting up that right knee and finding a little bit of that activation we just went through, then that's what you need to do. Awareness of your breath. Nice, we'll stay here for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting to move anything out of your way if you use tools. Lift your body up, lean over onto your left glute. And again, hands or no hands. Kick your right leg forwards and back into pigeon. Kick forwards, back, pigeon. Kick forwards, back to pigeon. Kick forwards, back to pigeon. 2 more. Kick forwards, back to pigeon, and kick forwards, back to pigeon, and then just bring that leg forwards. Find easy Sukhasana, easy seated pose. And just have a little wiggle through your shoulders, wiggle through your neck. And then from here we can take it a little bit deeper. So bringing your hands on your knees for your Sufi circles, really rounding into your back. Think a bit of cat-cow here. Pull the shoulder blades apart. Move your body over to your right hip. Push forwards to your right knee. Swing around to your left knee. Back to your left hip. Start making these nice deep exaggerated circles. Finding some of that stiffness that comes through the lower back, remembering the muscles in our hips are connected to our back, so we'll just spread the stretching out a little bit from just the hips. Let's change direction. Slowly come back to center. Nice. From here, come to swing your legs around so that you can sit onto your feet. And then sitting on both of your feet, what we're going to do is lift up. We're going to move over to the right. So I'm really just sitting with the heel of the right foot between my glutes, and the right side of my hip slopes down towards the floor. So you should already feel a little bit of a stretch coming through. Walk the left arm out, start to feel that stretch a little bit more. Inhale, lift that right arm up, fingers to ceiling, find side body extension. And if this is deep enough, stay here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, arm over ear, shoulder back so that the chest is open. And you can even press into your left fingertips, pushing the right side of your hip down to the floor a little bit more. From here, what's quite nice is if you then start to just wiggle this arm around, you can bring the stretch up to your waist, up through the lats, maybe even around the armpits a little bit. And then as these sensations start to become a little bit more subtle, or you can stay here, you can start to bend, bring your fingertips to your shoulder, do some shoulder circles. And you feel how this certain point as the elbow lifts up, that the muscle just stretches out a little bit deeper. Make sure the left shoulder isn't scrunched up to your ear, causing any stress. Little bend through the left elbow. Take the circles in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, bring your fingers back to the ceiling. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale and you bring the arm down, you feel that muscle almost shorten again. Oh, just gently lift up, go over to the other side. So walk the right fingertips out. Inhale the left arm up. Fingers to ceiling, really find that stretch. And then arm over ear. Shoulder back, chest open. It feels like a deep twist. It looks like the tiniest twist. Make sure that that shoulder joint is comfortable if it feels a bit clicky. Couple of really deep breaths. Think about the expansion of your rib cage here. Stretching out not only the hips, but some of the muscles between the ribs. And same thing, as these sensations start to lessen, you can do a little backwards, forwards. Maybe almost bending the elbow a bit like cactus can feel really good as you go back. And again, as these sensations start to lessen, fingertips onto the shoulder and take a few circles. Go around in the opposite direction. And then arm over ear, inhaling, fingers to ceiling. Exhale, releasing. Nice, and from here, let's swing the legs around. Let's have the legs out straight in front. Whew. Nice, if you feel a little bit tight, you can always bend the legs a little bit, put maybe blocks under the backs of your thighs. And have the feet not quite touching for this Paschimottanasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, engage the core, lengthen your spine. From the hips, exhale, fold forwards. And if you can reach your toes, almost sway from left to right, pulling one shoulder back and then the other. If you're kind of close to your toes but not quite, take your hands to the floor, push your chest forwards. Think about belly to thigh, little soft compression, skin to skin. Nice deep breaths, and really just trying to find some comfortability in wherever you are in this fold. We'll stay for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rounding up through your spine. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Nice. And now for this final one, I'm going to do a nice little bit of tension relief on the neck. So if you have a block, grab a block. If you don't have a block, you want something with quite a hard edge. So if you're in Vietnam, maybe you've got a traditional chair lying around and you can just kind of lay on the sofa and find a little adjustment. So what you want to do is make sure your hair is out of your way. Lie back down onto your back, and you want this to hit just the hairline, okay? So it's a really small little pillow. So you need to wiggle it back, and there's almost like feels a little bit jelly-like. It's a little bit softer. So once you can get the edge of the block just at the base of that hairline, you can let go of your hair. And at the moment, you shouldn't really feel too much if your head is center. What you've got are these two ropey muscles either side of your neck that just love to hold tension. So make sure your legs are just in any way that you find comfortable, and start turning your head slowly to one side, finding these little wiggles, and you'll feel the tightness that sits in the back of your neck. Now, there's no real right or wrong here. It is a little bit painful because these muscles do love to hold tension. So as long as you're breathing, and you can take as much time as you want on each side, you're just going to keep wiggling around and putting this little bit of pressure on the back of your neck. We're going to stay here for a good minute or so. So there's no rush. Close your eyes. Don't be afraid to make a little bit of noise with your breath. And since everyone else is on mute, if you need to make some louder sound effects, because it's quite tight in some places, then go for it. Sometimes almost blowing bubbles can really be a sensory distraction of a little like, I don't know, blowing bubbles like a horse maybe. So what you also want to think about is if you're noticing that one side is a lot more, I don't want to say painful, it's a lot more kind of talkative to you, wants your attention a bit more, maybe thinking about how do you sit while you're on the computer, how do you sit while you're chilling on the sofa, how do you sleep, do you always answer the phone and lock the phone between one ear and one shoulder? Excuse me. All of these little habits that we have can help us in having a really wonky body. So using the information that you get from some of these practices or some of these stretches to maybe reflect on how you could do yourself a favour in your day-to-day life. This is just one of the million ways you can bring yoga off of the mat. Nice. Now come back to center. Make sure if you've got your hair out of the way, gently lift your head, slide the block out, and chin to chest, your neck has a nice bit of extension. Come to lie down into your Shavasana. If you have a blanket or something nearby and you can cover yourself, just to give you your subconscious a little bit more security and comfort to help you relax, then grab that. If you have any tools that you want to use, blocks, bolsters, cushions, whatever you like, grab those. Making sure that your hair, your clothing, nothing is particularly bothering you. Wiggle around, make sure that you're comfortable. Feeling that your chest is open, that you have depth in your breath. Taking a quick body scan. Feet, ankles, calves and thighs are relaxed. Hips, back, shoulders, relaxed. Jaw, corners of your eyes, forehead, relaxed. Bringing awareness back to the sensation of breath. And also to the sensation in your neck. Noticing as that sensation starts to die down, is it just slowly fading out? Or can you feel those sensations starting to travel before they settle in your body? And with your eyes closed, start to turn your head from left to right, taking your chin down to your shoulder on each side. Start to rotate through your wrists and through your ankles, round in circles one way, and then the other way. Stretch your arms behind your head, full body stretch. Deep breath in, sigh out. Bend your knees, hug them into your chest. Rock from left to right over your lower back. Roll over onto one side. Start to gently push yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Wiggle your shoulders and your neck in any way that feels good. Start to come back to center. Inhale, fingers to ceiling, reach up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands come back to your heart center. Remembering any of the intentions or affirmations that you had set at the start of practice. Taking a moment to check in on how you feel physically, emotionally, energetically. And I thank you for your time and your energy today. Namah Shivaya.
Recording stopped.